Every single day, in every walk of life, ordinary people do extraordinary things. And that is the quote of the day. Welcome back to the Quote of the Day show. I'm your host, Sean Croxton of SeanCroxton.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Monday to you. Today, I've got a good one for you. Last night, actually like all of yesterday, I was listening to motivational talks, pulling clips for the show, and this particular talk was the very last one that I turned on. It's about 11 o'clock at night. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. And I'm like, let me just listen to like 10 to 15 minutes of this one. And I tell you, I was in bed laughing and clapping my hands. This was such a great talk. And the speaker is Coach Jim Valvano. And I know of Jim because I'm into basketball. I love watching basketball, college basketball, NBA basketball, whatever basketball, I will watch it. And he did a speech just before he passed away from bone cancer at the ESPYs in 1993. You got to look it up. It's called the Never Give Up speech. So just look that up on YouTube. It's so inspiring. Now, I hadn't heard any of his other talks, and so I turned this one on. And like I said, I was blown away. The stories were just amazing. If you don't know Jim Valvano, he was the coach of NC State, North Carolina State, back in 1983 when they won the championship, and nobody thought they were going to win. And there's this video of like them winning and him running all over the court, not sure who to hug. And it's really, really cool. So I hope you get a chance to listen to the entire version or the full length speech that he gave on this. It's from the program Secrets of Super Achievers. Again, that's Secrets of Super Achievers, available over at nightingale.com. But without further ado, I hope you truly enjoy this one. Here's Jim Valvano.
Now I want to talk to you about how I do my job in a competitive field. How each day I try to beat the Notre Dames, North Carolinas, and everybody else. How am I going to do that? All right, I think everybody has to have a personal philosophy of how you live your life. All right, here's mine, very simply put. You plus motivation equals success. I have that only thing in my locker room. There's nothing else in my locker room but that sign. You plus motivation equals success. I have it on cards, bookmarkers. I have it on everything. It drives me. It's a passion. I was 16 years old. I heard the Reverend Bob Richards speak. Remember him, the Wheaties guy, the Catherine pole vault champion Olympics? Bob Richards looked over a group of these young kids at a basketball camp and said, "The Lord must have loved ordinary people because he made so many of us." And here I am, 16, thinking I'm special. And here's a man I respect, said, "The Lord must have loved ordinary people. He made so many of us ordinary." And I was a little, you get a little down at 16 when someone's telling you that. And then he said the line that changed my life at 16 that I felt then. I'm 41 years old. I've been working 21 years in my business, and I feel it the same way today. He said, every single day, in every walk of life, ordinary people do extraordinary things. Ordinary people accomplish extraordinary things. And I raised my hand. I'm applying for the job right now. I'm an ordinary guy. I want to do extraordinary things in my life. And I believe it. I think that's strong. I think that's what it's all about. And I know, how do you do that? How do you go from the ordinary to the extraordinary? I think it's the second thing. It's motivation. And motivation to me is three things. Three things each day I try to do to get myself ready to roll. Some people will say to me, how do you motivate 18-year-old kids? How do you motivate yourself? I don't, in 21 years, motivate anybody except each day, one person. I get up, James Thomas Anthony Valvano. And that's a full-time job, keeping me up at the level I want. I hope that if I'm there, my assistants, my players, everyone was, that's a full-time job for me. I'm not a finger pointer. Say, hey, I'm working, Mike. How about you? How come you? No, I work each day to get myself there. How? Motivation. Number one, enthusiasm. Ralph Waldo Emerson, speaking to graduating class at Harvard, said nothing great has ever been accomplished without enthusiasm. How enthusiastic are you every day in your profession? And I interview people for jobs, and I'm very bad. I'm one of the worst coaches to come and say, what's the benefits here? I don't like that. I've never hired someone who's asked me. One fella last year said to me, do you have a dental plan? I said, yeah. If we don't win, the alumni kick our teeth in, you know? I said, that's our dental plan. What is this? You know? That's me. I don't like when people ask me how many weeks off we get before they start to work. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I am. And I know I'm probably not going to change in that regard. I like it. I love what I do. Very fortunate. Right? Enthusiasm. Give yourself an enthusiasm check. One of the things which is disappointing to me at times is when I travel around and speak and someone will say, that was a good talk. I wish my son and my daughter heard it. I said, what about you? What about you? He said, hey, I've been doing this job for 30 years. I don't need, oh. Someone else, I've been doing this 23 years. Oh, I never understood that. See, I'm a dumb dago. I didn't realize that after a certain number of years in your profession, you put it on automatic pilot. And you automatically win. You automatically sell. Why? Because by the force of your presence. Right? So I said, wow, that's not a great thing to know. Next year when I coach, I go up to the other coach and say, how long have you been coaching? I say, 8 years. Ha! He's done. I'll kill him. I've been coaching 21. You got no shot. Don't work that way. You must maintain each year the same enthusiasm. My second part of motivation is dream. Do you still dream? I still dream. I dream all the time. I dream. I watch that film a lot. I also, for my players, we have one practice every year where they come up on a court. There's no balls. There's no drills. All we do is practice cutting the net down. It's true. I have a scissor. I have a gold scissor. We carry each other up, cut the net. They hook me up. I cut the last one. We do that. We film it. We go up in the locker room. We watch it. Then we watch us in '83 doing it. We see the reality. We see the dream. The dream can become the reality. How? By being enthusiastic. By feeling that you can accomplish that, extraordinary events from ordinary people, and also by the work ethic that I don't have to tell you about. You know it. It just took me a long time to understand the relationship between work and success was not direct. If you work hard, you'll be successful. The relationship was, if you don't work hard, you can't be successful. That's a big difference. It took me a while to understand that you work hard because that's the nature. That's part of being successful. But if you don't work hard, you have no shot. So there is my philosophy of getting the job done. A pinch of laughter each day. I think you should laugh every day. I want to be enthusiastic, keep my dream alive and work, even though I'm going to fail. And the last thing, I want to talk about my father, and then I'll go out of here. Rocco Valvano. I have no problems telling you, and maybe it's my family. He talked about family. It means so much to me. I have no problem. I can look at anybody and tell you, I love my mother. I love my father. I had no problem saying it to them. I had no problem saying it. Never had a problem. I understand the statement that sometimes the people you think you know the least, if that wasn't the case with me. My father was the single most important, influential person in my life. He never made a lot of money, and I think he's the richest man I ever knew. He never had a position of real importance, and yet he influenced more people than anyone else that I know. My father, Rocco Valvano. Let me tell you, so I know I'm running late. Let me tell you, you have to share. So when I got this job, my first job, I said to my pop, I said, boy, he's great, Dad. And he said, what do you want to do? I said, we're going to win national championship. And he said, I'll be there. I said, it's hard to do that. He said, no, I'll be there. Right now, it took me 8 years of work before I even made the tournament. That was my dream to win, 8 years. First year I made it, coaching at Iona. I call up home, my dad, mom in New York. I said, we made it. We got a bid. So we celebrated the way Italians celebrate. We eat. You know, it was on a Sunday, we eat. All right? You start at 2 o'clock, you finish midnight. Halftime about 6 o'clock, you know? My father calls me upstairs in his bedroom, which has never been in my father's bedroom, you know? And he calls me up and he says, there's a suitcase. Now, remember I told you where my family's from. My father's never left New York. My father thinks everything north of the George Washington Bridge is Canada, right? You understand that? Do you know what I'm saying? Right? My father, we lived in the neighborhood with the Famularos, the Pizzamentes, the Kifas, the Coppolas. I brought him, my wife is the first fair-skinned person that I ever met. That's the truth. Brought her home, my father said, we're not sure what it is, but let's keep it. You know, he said, you know? So, you see what I'm talking about? This man, this old guy, oh, he got the suitcase. What's that for? He said, I'm going to be there when you win the national championship. My bags are packed. I said, Pop, it's hard. Well, you'll do it. We lost the first round. The next year, same thing. We lost the second round. He said, you're Gainer. I moved to North Carolina. We made the tournament. I called him. It became a phrase, a catchphrase. My father said, my bags are packed for you. My suitcase is packed for you. And we lost and we kept losing. Well, the year we won, 1983, I got a great picture of my father and I on center court in Albuquerque, New Mexico, hugging, and my brother gave it to me and it said, like father, like son. It's the most important gift that I have from my brother. That picture, I know I'm not half the man my father is, but just that he knew what a compliment that would be to me. That night we celebrated. My dad said, what are you going to do now? I said, we're going to do it again. He said, I'll be there. I said, I know you will. The next year we made the tournament, called my bags are packed, we lost. Next year we made it, we lost. We lost in regional finals. And after the game I called up, we lost to St. John's in Denver, Colorado. I called my pop, he said, what a great game, I saw it. Oh, you won. Next year you'll make it. Then I flew home that night. He was one of those people who after I spoke to him, I always felt better than before. One of those, maybe you know somebody like that. After you talk to them, you feel better than you did before you went in, right? Maybe you know somebody. Well, now, I get home that night. It's 2 years ago. And this is what made me think about it. I got home, my house in North Carolina, a lot of people there, and I came, what's the matter? Called me in 2 years ago, April. My father had a heart attack and he died. And I lost my best friend in the whole world. This is not a sad story, it's a happy story. But I was knocked for a loop. Those of you who've lost a loved one, you know what that's like. This was my first time in my life. I didn't know how to handle it. And I was missing. I couldn't understand what it was I was missing. A lot of people lose, the people they love and maybe handle a little bit better. What was it? I didn't see him all the time, and I was traveling a lot, right? And then it hit me, what it was he gave me. I call it that. The gift my father gave me. And I think it's the strongest and most powerful gift I've ever received. And it's a gift I find we don't like to give to each other, both in our business and our personal life. I spent 2 years trying to give this gift to other people. The gift my father gave me every day of my life was he believed in me. My father believed in me. He believed in me when I failed. He believed in me when I wasn't as fine a son, friend, husband, father as I could be. I've done all that. But he's the one person who, when I didn't measure up to my standard or someone else's standard, he'd look me in the eye and he'd say, you're going to make it. I know you are. My bag's packed. You're going to make it. And it's the greatest thing. And I said to myself, how many people do I give that to? My own players. And how often when I make a mistake, am I critical? But never, ever look him in the eye and say, son, you'll make it. I know you will. I know you can. I believe it. Right? How many people who I work with do that? How many people who I work for do that? Oh, it's an incredible gift, and I've worked 2 years now to add it to my personal philosophy. I like to remember where I started. I know where I am, and I know where I'm going, and I know I'm going to get there. I'm going to be excited and enthusiastic every day that God gives me on this earth. I am going to dream my dreams. I'm going to work, not harder than anybody else, as hard as everyone, and accept the failures, right? And I'm going to laugh a little bit and believe in the people I work with, the people who work for me, and the people I work for. And there's nothing going to stop me from cutting down the nets in my second national championship. And when I do, I'm going to sprint out on the court. You'll know why that I'm sprinting out. You'll know that. And I'm going to look up and I'm going to say, Pop, this one's for you. And I know he's up there elbowing someone. I know it's not a referee. It's going to be somebody else, right? He's elbowing someone and saying, that's my son. I knew he was going to do it. My bags were always packed. I ask you to have your bags packed to share in the successes of others. To not only have your bags packed to share, but be able to believe in the people you work with. If you can fill each day, I think with that kind of belief and enthusiasm, and a dream and a work ethic, a little laughter, I can't imagine us all not having a chance of cutting the nets down. I said that at the beginning. This is a special audience. It's a special group. It's been very motivating and invigorating for me to be here. I know that you folks can accomplish anything you want. I know that because my father told me so. God bless you, and I hope you have the kind of year that you want. Thank you so much.
All right, that was Coach Jim Valvano. I hope that was the perfect way to start off your week. And again, that comes from the program Secrets of Super Achievers, available over at nightingale.com. I got to tell you about something real quick that I stumbled upon last weekend when I was pulling clips. It's called the Nightingale Insiders app. It's an app get downloaded on your iPhone, on your Android, as well as your iPad, and you literally have access to pretty much the entire Nightingale library. So all kind of talks, motivational speeches, and programs available on your phone and on your iPad. It's $1 for the first month and then $19 for every additional month. And personally, I think it's the coolest thing ever. That's how I actually found this Jim Valvano clip, because I was just going through my app listening to random stuff. And then I stumbled upon this and I was like, oh, this is awesome. This needs to be a clip on the show. So you can learn more about that at nightingale.com. Just do a search for Insiders app and you will find it. And so make sure you sign up for that. And that's it for me. I will see you tomorrow for our Tuesday episode of the Quote of the Day. I'm out. Peace.